I felt like I had to say this. This has been something that I've been thinking about today, as I've been reflecting on my own journey and the struggles that I've been facing in trading this last week or so. But if you've been struggling in trading, if you've been failing, if you've been blowing accounts, if you've been losing money, it's okay, right? Because this is a part of our journey. This is something that we need to be able to experience in order for us to get better. And again, I'm mostly talking to myself. These are my journals. These are things that I do for myself personally, right? So that way I can look back at it and learn from it. But this is also a public journal. This is something that I also want to say to whoever is watching this. But it's okay if you are doing what you can to improve yourself day in and day out, day by day, in order to get better as a trader. It is not easy to trade. I swear to you, it is so difficult to trade. And this market, as of late, has been insane. It's been crazy. It's been choppy. I know it's earnings season as well, but it's so hard to trade in general, right? Even if the market is trending up, it's going higher at all time highs, whatever, whatever. It's hard to trade because the reason why is because you are constantly not only having to navigate the market, but you're constantly having to battle yourself. Psychology will always be a thing in trading. I've always believed that trading psychology is about 90 to 95% of actual trading. The rest of it is just technicals. So, in the grand scheme of things, once you actually master the technicals, once you actually understand what a candlestick is, directional bias, all this other stuff, trading really just boils down to your psychology. And can you keep it together long enough so that way you're disciplined when it clicks, right? That's really what trading is. For example, look at this market right now. Look at this. I thought we were in a clear downtrend coming up here, higher low, or sorry, lower high, right? Reject VWAP, come down. This same thing happened to me yesterday. Last night, same trade happened. I got stopped out, ended up losing two trades in a row, right? And I just felt like I couldn't get a grip on what was happening, what was occurring. And I just felt like I didn't know how to trade anymore, right? Of course, are there things in review that you can do better, that I can do better? Of course, right? There's so many things I can talk about myself getting better. And I'm sure you guys have things that you look at like, oh, wow, I lost. But in reflection, you're like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have entered here better, right? I'm the same way. So we have to be able to understand what those things are before we're just like, oh, trading doesn't work for me. But in the midst of trying to figure all that stuff out, you will lose and you will fail. And that's okay. You have to be okay with that. You have to get to the point where you accept losing. Losing, you are going to lose so many times in trading. You are going to fail so many times in trading, right? It's just going to happen. It's going to happen. And you have to be able to be okay with that. You have to accept that fact, right? Right now at work, I've been going through something where there's a lot of work politics going on, and there's a lot of changes happening. And I'm realizing that if I'm not accepting these changes, if I'm not going with the flow, then I'm just going to be left behind. In Stoicism, there's this I don't know if it's a story or an expression or an example, right? But basically, the question is, would you rather be a dog, right, who's tied up to a cart and the cart is moving the dog, right? Would you rather be the dog who's fighting that cart, trying to make its own way, trying to make its own will, or would you rather just go along with the cart, right? If you're fighting and you're constantly butting heads and you're constantly trying to go against whatever it is that's happening to you, that's out of your control, you are never going to prosper. It might work here and there, but for the most part, you are going to fail, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to end up being in a position where you've tried and tried and tried against the grain and you have not succeeded. But if you accept whatever happens to you, if you accept your losses, if you accept that you took a bad trade, if you accept that you tilted, if you accept that these things occur during trading, and the next time that it occurs, you just do the best that you can to either avoid that or to improve on it or whatever, then you're going to be more successful in trading. But that comes with failure. That comes with losing. That comes with experiencing so much loss that you're just like, I'm tired of losing. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to stick to my rules. And I'm going to get better. But losing isn't only just, oh, I didn't stick to my rules today. Oh, I lost because I didn't stick to my rules. No, losing is I stuck to my rules and I still lost. I did everything I was supposed to do and I still lost. And that happens all the time in trading. Trading is the hardest way to make easy money. It's the hardest way to make easy money. I cannot stress that enough. It is the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. I had to take a 200 question board exam for physical therapy. There are so many questions I did not know the answer to. I only passed by 4 questions, but I passed. But this, trading this, is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Getting a payout was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Getting a second payout was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And it'll get easier. Of course it will. Of course it'll get easier. But man, I kid you not, I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. It's not easy. So please do not feel bad if you are struggling in this market. Do not feel bad if you're taking losses, whether you're sticking to your rules or not, right? Because a lot of people will tell you, oh, just stick to your rules. Oh, like you should just stick to your rules. Oh, like you should just be more disciplined. Like, how do you get there? Tell me. Tell me how you get there without failing. Tell me how you become a successful trader without learning these lessons on your own. For some people, it goes so much faster than others, but for some people, they struggle and they struggle and they have to be able to lose enough to develop a disciplined mindset, to develop a process that allows them to limit their losses, that allows them to limit the amount of tilt that they have when losing. For everyone, it is a choice every single day that you make. Every single day that you make, it is a choice whether you decide to follow your rules or not. But how can you make that choice easier for yourself? How can you get to a point where your environment just makes it so easy for you to do the right thing, to choose the right thing? How? And that is what you have to be able to develop for yourself. I thought for myself that I got to the point where doing the right thing was just easy. It was just simple, right? That's how I got my second payout because I was just doing the right things over and over again. It felt like it became second nature. But then obviously I blew my account. So what happened? It's not like, oh, Victor just went from a disciplined trader to a not disciplined trader. No, something crept up inside of me. Because every day it's a choice to choose to be good, to be disciplined. And I didn't make that choice when I blew my funded account in one day. I lost $2,000 in one day. I didn't choose it, right? So I talk about this a lot with my friends. I've mentioned it in videos past. I've talked about it in Discord too, but it's like there are 3 ways, not 3 ways, but there are 3 levels that you get to, right? Being aware after the fact, being aware as it's happening, being aware before it happens. You have to get to that point. You have to get to that point, right? But again, like I've been saying this whole video, it's okay if you're losing, it's okay if you're struggling, because there will come a point in time where you understand what you're doing wrong. And then if you're not doing anything wrong, you will understand that that's part of trading. You can do everything right and still lose. So please just keep going. Be resilient. Keep pushing forward because it's not easy. And I'll be the first person to tell you how hard this trading game is. It is so difficult, right? So I wanted to say that before I go into the trade recap. I felt like that was the most important thing for me to say. I've been thinking about it a lot in terms of my own self-reflection too. And I hope that that message resonates with some of you guys, even if it's just one person, even if it's just myself in the future. I hope that it helps. So going forward, talking about me personally, I'm gonna get into the trade recap, by the way. Trade recaps at the end of this video, but um, I have a lot to work on. I have so much to improve on, right? Even when you think something is supposed to go your way, even when you think that a certain thing is supposed to happen a certain way, it may not happen. The market the last 2 nights has shown me that I still have a lot to work on, right? Now, can I say that this is horrible price action? Absolutely. I can and I will say it. But I need to get better. I need to improve. I need to take higher probability trades in order for myself to grow as a trader, right? And that is something that I was doing consistently up until this week. And I'm just not taking the highest probability trades. I might be right in short term direction, but I am not taking the highest probability entries. I am not setting my stop loss appropriately. I'm thinking about size and money rather than the trade itself and the process. And again, it's fine, but you have to correct it. If you stay like this, I'll never get another payout, I promise you. I'll never pass another account. So I need to be able to correct it and I need to be able to move forward. I've also realized too that I am not that I've realized this. Oh my gosh, it's a revelation. No, I've known this for a long time, but I need to do something about it. It is that I'm such a people pleaser. I love pleasing people. I love helping people. I want people to be happy. And if people are upset at me, right, they feel like I did something wrong to them or I wasn't as helpful as they thought I could have been, it affects me so much, right? So, how does that go into my trading? That goes into my trading because I feel like I gotta win. I feel like I gotta take a trade every single day, right? To be able to talk about it on YouTube, to be able to talk about a life lesson, to be able to talk about what I could have done better. I don't need to take a trade every single day. Where did this come from? How did this happen? I don't know, right? I remember probably maybe a month and a half ago or so, 2 months ago, I was like, yeah, I might not make a video every day because uh, I might not trade every day. For whatever reason, these last 2 weeks, I've taken trades every day. It's like I'm coming into the market looking for something. I'm coming into the market to take a trade rather than allowing the trade to come to me, right? So today was the first day that in maybe a week and a half where I was like, I'm just gonna let this trade come to me. And I still lost. I still ended up losing because my entry was poor, and we'll get into that. But I'm glad that I was able to recognize that. I'm glad that I was able to say, I need to be able to allow myself to let the trade come to me, just like how I was doing before. When you're successful, when you get your first payout, right, and you have a proven edge, you have a proven method, or when you pass your first combine, right, and you've done it the right way, you just need to stick to that, right? If there are things that you need to refine in your process, if there are things that you need to get better at, sure, why not? Right? Do those things as I am doing currently. But those good habits that you built to get a payout, to get a second payout, to pass a combine, those are the things that you need to stick to throughout your trading journey. Sizing appropriately, better entries, good stop loss placement, adding break even, whatever you need to do, not taking off your daily loss limit, locking yourself out after 2 trades. These are things that you need to do in order to consistently be successful, right? So, as this market is wild and choppy and crazy, your discipline is what's going to outlast the choppiness of the market. This will not stay forever. Your discipline won't stay forever. But who's going to win that battle? Will you be more disciplined until the market starts going in your favor, starts producing price action that's suitable for your model? Or are you going to mess up before then and continue to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose until you feel like giving up? So yeah, anyway, let's get into the trade recap. That was a different Vic. But again, I felt like I needed to say that to myself too, because this stuff is so important. Like I need to drill this down. I need to improve and I need to get better. So let's come here real quick. All right. So trade recap. I blew my account Um, Full transparency, I'm always going to keep it real on here. I blew my last account, only had about $850 in drawdown. I ended up taking this trade. So I wish, again, I don't know why Topstep, they just, like, as soon as the combine is blown, like, I reset it, right? I have free reset credits. I had like five. I'm down to like two now, which is cool, right? I don't have to pay, um, for these last combines. But I ended up taking a trade. Where did I take my trade? I actually took it here, right? So my entry was actually about 503.75. So right here, this line. And I got stopped out here. Again, I only had $800 of drawdown. I think I ended up adding full contracts because I thought we confirmed, right? We started heading lower, but then we just shot up. My entry was poor. What could I have done better? VWAP, value area high. If I'm shorting, which I have been shorting like crazy, right? It's something that I've struggled with. I still kind of struggle with it, but I'm feeling better about it now. You have to short in these areas. Before, about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was back testing and I was like, I should only short from value area highs. But in this market as of late, VWAP has been a very good area. This purple line right here is VWAP. VWAP has been a very good area for you to short as long as you're coming underneath it, right? You break it, you come underneath it, reject, reject, reject. You can short, right? If you're coming above it, VWAP is a place for you to bounce off, which I always do whenever I buy, right? So I know that. But value area high is also another area too. If I were to take this trade right now, what would I expect? What would happen? This is range trading. This is a point where we are developing a channel, right? This channel is continuously forming lower highs, lower highs. This is the 5 minute, lower highs, right? You'll see on the 1 minute, even though this is a higher high, right? And we bounce from here, we are still bearish, right? Until we form a higher low and then break that and then form a higher low again, we are still bearish, right? This price action has been showing bearish, 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 but I got stopped out here. Why? My entry was poor. Where did I enter? If I go back on replay and I look, I entered around this candle. Why am I entering at value area lows? I don't want to miss the move. I have FOMO. I need to make sure that I'm a part of the move as it breaks through. If you go back into my channel, you'll see how I traded before. It was breakouts, 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 breakouts. And I lost. Now, I did end up um, passing an account because of that, and I did end up getting to a point where I got my first payout because of that, right? But most breakouts fail, and I know that. So why would I end up, I said buying, why would I end up selling at value area low? Why? Why? For what reason? Right? Wait. Be patient. Okay, cool. This is heading lower. Wait for a better discount. Right? You go to the store, you want to buy something. Wait for it to tell you. This right here, I thought it was telling me. No, it's not. The volume, look at the volume. Look at where you're at. You're at value area lows. The volume, yes, it is bigger, right? But there's no true confirmation. Even if there is, let the price run without you. Get into a better spot, right? So then here, I reset my account, ended up taking this trade that's clearly rejecting VWAP, right? Nice full body red candle, close to a reverse pin, and then you continue, right? So now that's a good trade. But the reason why the market has been so crazy is this price action right here. Look at that. You think on a normal day you would follow through, right? On a normal day you'd follow through. That red candle is telling you, okay, cool, we're gonna start heading lower. I ended up getting stopped out here, not stopped out, but take profit down here, right? It was at 490.25, crossing it anyway. Ended up getting it there. You can see we were about one on here. We were at 490 on NQ. We were 490.25, so we never actually ended up. You can see here 490.25, right? Um, it was almost one of those situations where I didn't get it by one tick. So I set my stop loss to break even, right? Because there's no reason for me to lose money. I need to be able to start implementing that a little bit more. But here you can see, okay, we're heading lower. You can probably walk away from the computer, right? No, you can't. Because all of a sudden you shoot up. You have this nice red candle at VWAP again. You're thinking, well, maybe we can confirm lower. Nope. Bought right back up. And then now we are live and we are rejecting value area high, rejecting value area high for the time being, but also bouncing off the VWAP after this huge bullish move. You go to the 5 minute, you can see how we're looking right now. I would still say we are bearish, right, until we start breaking through 536 and prior day value area low. But the 1 minute, right? Time is fractal. Time frames are fractal, right? You need to be bullish on the 1 minute to be bullish on the 5 minute, and so on and so forth. And if I was bearish, I'd be like, man, I am worried right now, right? And I was bearish, and I would have lost this trade if I didn't set it to break even, right? Thankfully, we were able to get tagged out at 490.25. It only went as low as 487.50 on NQ, and it rose, right? So this market has been tough. Going back to what I was saying earlier, it's been so hard. It's been difficult. It's been choppy. Asian session has been very difficult because that's what I trade. Um, we did the right things today. Yes, we blew an account, but again, it's a combine. Like, I don't really care about blowing combines. Um, I don't want to run through money like that, though. Just because my girlfriend has a job now doesn't mean I'm going to be running through money like that. But at the same time, we need to be better. My trading has to be better. I've just realized that I've been a crappy trader as of late. I can make all the excuses I want to. And someone told me in the comments, I forgot who it was. I wish I remembered your name. It was like ZQ something something, ZCW something something something. But he was like, "You have such negative self-talk." And I was like, "Bro, you're right." But I don't mean it that way. My girlfriend tells me the same thing too, right? So I'm saying I've been such a crappy trader. I really want to say the S word, but I don't curse on my channel. But no, I have been trading poorly as of late, and I am doing my best to correct it now. So hopefully that guy is happy, that commenter is happy, and hopefully my girlfriend's happy when she hears that too. But it's true, I just need to improve. I need to get better, you know? Um, and I hope that today is a really good step in the right direction. Obviously, like, it's not going to happen so quickly where I'm just automatically on it, right? I've been dealing with a lot of stuff at work and just in life in general, and I'll probably save that for in a minute or so, but there's still things that I can improve on and still things that I can get better at in order to improve myself as a trader. And we learned a little bit of that today. So, goal is still to pass this combine by tomorrow, right? So, hopefully, we can take another good trade tomorrow. Um, See if we can pass it. If not, we'll try again. We have to size appropriately, though, right? I believe that usually whenever I have these good first winning days on the combine, um, like you need to make sure that you're taking your profits appropriately. You don't have to pass it in 2 days, right? You just have to take your time. Probably even size down them to micros because they're a little bit more controllable, a little bit more scalable, right? You can add up to 50 micros on Topstep X. So that's something that I can improve on too. Um, but yeah, talking about life again, we kind of talked about it a little bit too. How I've been feeling FOMO and thinking about the money and stuff. Um, I said in a previous video, the trading and stuff is done. I'm not talking about trading anymore. But my girlfriend has a job. It's been great. She's been very busy though. Um, but I'm someone that I don't really adapt to change. So even though I'm so happy for her getting a job, um, it's different on me. I always talked about this in school. Whenever I was trading, whenever I was studying in school, and we had a big exam coming up, I'd study my butt off. I'd study, 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 study for hours. I'd grind. I'd stay up late. I don't drink coffee, but I would drink coffee during those times just to help myself stay awake. But then once the exam or the clinical, the practical was taken, and I finally took that exam, and I finally came home to my apartment to rest, I would break down, right? Because my body has been such in a high strung state. I've been so stressed out for so long that I just learned how to live with it. But then once that event was over, once we had finally passed that, my body just couldn't cope anymore. I just, down I go, right? And I feel like the same thing has been occurring ever since we got the good news of my girlfriend getting a job, of Steph getting a job. And it's been awesome. I'm so happy for her. But now my body's like, all right, Vic, we can finally relax now. We don't have to grind so hard. We don't have to work so hard on getting a payout or taking extra hours at work or whatever, because now you guys are fine. But because of that, my body and my mental state has just been dropping and decreasing and deteriorating, you know? And I'm trying to do the correct things in order for myself to get back to where I was before. And I think I'm doing a good job of that now. Um, but it's still difficult. It's still hard. I mentioned there's been work stuff going on. I just heard today that my previous patient passed away, and that's always tough to take. I've had some tough days like that too, where things like that happen, and it's not the first time something like that has happened before, but it always feels terrible whenever you do hear that. And he was a good guy too. He's a good guy. He's a funny guy. One of my coworkers actually went into the room to work with him one time, and he was like, "Hey, so and so, how are you?" He's like, "How do you think I am? I'm effed up. I'm 90." Which is so funny. So may he rest in peace as well. But yeah, we just gotta keep doing what we can, man, to improve for ourselves, our family, right? Because we know that trading is going to be able to help us in the future and help us improve. So yeah, for anyone who's watching to this point, thank you. And hopefully you got something out of my rambling. I hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are trading well. And yeah, much longer video today. I had a lot to say on my mind, but I hope that you guys are doing great. And yeah, keep trading Stokely. See you guys in the next video. And please drop some comments below. Again, if you're still watching. About how you've been doing this week too. Again, I love to shout out my viewers. I love to shout out subscribers. Love to shout out people in the Discord. So link is in the description below as well. Let me know how you're doing. Drop it in the Centurion Highlights channel. Drop it in the comment section below. If you passed the combine your first time, you got your first funded account, if you got your first payout, if you had your 10th payout, please let me know. If you're struggling as well, like I said, it's okay. Put in the comment section below too. Put in the Discord. We have so many helpful people in there. So I really want you guys to feel free to do those things too, because I think Dominic said this too, in the Discord, but you gotta let that stuff be shown, right? It can't handle the light that you're putting on it. It can't handle the light that you're shining on it. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video today. Real quick, this is for G2. I'll probably put this in tomorrow's video too, but I was watching his video. I'm still watching it. And he talks a lot about some of the same things that I mentioned today too, which is pretty cool. So yeah, go subscribe to him as well. I'll put that in the shoutouts though tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are trading well. And yeah, keep trading Stokely.